Welcome to Myth Busting. Here to bust some myths. Pause on that. So many of you think that I am taking steroids or even freaking peptides, but god damn it, I am not. And so that just comes down to me doing the right things with my training and not doing the wrong things like a lot of you guys. And so with that being said, it made me understand, okay, what actually are you guys doing wrong? You guys are subscribing to myths that are outdated, and so I am here to educate you on what is actually correct so that you can start seeing the best gains of your entire fucking life. Muscle microtears. So a lot of guys think that microtears, breaking down the muscle, and you like do the freaking bicep curl and your muscle will build back stronger because it breaks and then it'll remodel. That's actually not how it works. Actually, muscle growth is not dependent on as much microtears as people think. Muscle growth is way more dependent on mechanical tension than microtears. Microtears, you only need a little bit to stimulate what's called remodeling of the muscles and localize that remodeling so that you end up getting more tissue. But you can have enough microtears in only 1 or 2 sets, and basically, if you do more than 1 or 2 sets, you're not able to train as often for most people. Now, the big thing I want to say is like you don't have to train only 2 sets every workout. I don't train only 2 sets per muscle group in every workout. But for a lot of men, this is what they're going to need because a lot of men have low testosterone. There's a reason why guys like Tom Platz are like talking about sets of 50 to 100 reps. It's because they're taking testosterone, and so they're able to recover faster. Natural guys like us, we can't build muscle as easily like that, even if we can recover really fast. And that's why I care about naturally optimizing my testosterone. And I take recovery extremely seriously. The more time you are in the gym is actually not the better, because the more time you spend destroying the muscle, the more it actually needs to get better. Don't get me wrong, stimulus is good, but if you're consistently destroying the muscle and the muscle fibers get actual muscle damage instead of mechanical tension, you're not getting that right balance. You will never be able to build good muscle, and you'll just be spinning your wheels all the time. And that's why so many guys, after literal years, I'm stronger than them after 2.5 years that I'm natty. I feel like an asshole right now, but I'm literally helping you, so like... And that leads me to soreness equals muscle growth. Not true. Soreness is not actually an indicator that your muscles are growing. It's an indicator that your muscles are damaged and that they have accumulated lactic acid. Don't get me wrong, if you're sore, yeah, you're probably going to build muscle because you did something to actually make it sore. But there are some guys that are never sore and they're actually still building muscle because it relies way more on mechanical tension than actual muscle damage. Number 2, salt will kill you. False. False as fuck. Every single one of your muscle contractions relies on sodium. You would not need salt in your diet if you did not need sodium. The reason why doctors tell you, okay, limit your sodium is not because sodium is bad for you. It's because sodium makes your blood more viscous, and if your blood is more viscous, it can increase your blood pressure. And so many of these guys aren't actually using the sodium for exercise. The average person is not exercising, despite what you might think being like surrounded in this niche. And so the average person will have high blood pressure because they are fat. Not dogging on them, it's just talking about their level of health. And so you should be having salt, because if you're not having salt, not only are your pumps going to be horrible in the gym, not only is your strength going to hit a wall in the middle of your workout, like a lot of guys don't understand why their strength randomly just like, okay, things are good, but after a couple sets, then they end up like losing all of their strength and then they're just like mid. But if you want to have peak maximum output and not just, oh, I train hard in the gym, but actually reach threshold stimulus, you must be having sodium and you must be having carbohydrates. Carbs make you fat. Myth! Oh my god. That's some bullshit. Carbs do not make you fat. Carbs are actually the most like insane performance enhancer next to sodium. Salt will not kill you. Carbs are not going to make you fat. Carbs are literal energy. Carbs are not like, oh, okay, it's fat. No. If you have excess energy, yeah, you're going to get fat. That's just the truth. So the nice thing is if you increase your activity and you eat more carbohydrates, what's going to happen? Your metabolism is going to get higher. Your muscles are going to have more glycogen inside of them so people think that you're taking steroids, you're not gonna look flat, and these keto motherfuckers are gonna think that you take steroids. If you want a big bench and you want to be able to see your bicep veins and your big ass fuck triceps, you need to be having, like, it depends on everybody, by the way. Like, I have like 300 grams of carbs a day at minimum. Lifting stunts growth. No. In fact, actually, not having as much calories as you should be having stunts growth. Now you can see exercising actually makes you expel more calories, right? And if you're training really hard, which you should be, it actually means that you need to eat, because if you're eating not at maintenance, you're gonna get smaller. And exercising increases how high your maintenance calories are and how much nutrients you need in order to grow. The beauty in exercising is that it creates the frame of your muscles to help your body, grow a lot more. And it makes your bones even more dense so that they can even grow even more. The only reason that you're lifting would stunt your growth would be because you're not sleeping enough or because you're not eating enough. If you're eating enough, if you're eating more, in fact, in a surplus, then you should technically be able to put your body in the optimal state for growth. Number 5, bulking bliss. Actually, the truth is you don't actually need to bulk to put on a bunch of muscle. In fact, the deeper you go down into the literature, the more you'll realize, you only really need like a 17 to 40 calorie surplus in order to actually signal to your body that it's time to build muscle. But ultimately it all comes down to stimulus plus recovery. I was able to build muscle while I was losing fat because I was partitioning my nutrients, timing my nutrients correctly. The mistake that a lot of guys make is that they don't actually time their nutrients correctly and time their carbs correctly, and they make themselves not as insulin sensitive, and they bulk really hard. They get their body fat higher. They make themselves less insulin sensitive, so they need more calories in order to spike their insulin so that their nutrients goes into their muscles. I feel like I'm starting to sound confusing, but basically people bulk really hard and then it makes it so that they are less insulin sensitive and they have higher body fat percentage, so their testosterone baseline gets lower and so they build muscle slower. It only feels like they put on a bunch of mass because they got fat and then they had to cut down after. It's like, oh my god, now I can see this muscle that I didn't get to see before. The only reason why hard bulking, eating 1,000 calorie surplus, would actually be beneficial if you were so absurdly far away from your true potential that it just was stupid to not do that. A lot of absolute really beginners, super skinny guys who have been malnutrition can actually do this. Like me, before I barely ate anything, I used to actually starve myself, and so when I started eating a bunch of calories, it ended up being very beneficial for me. Because the truth is, calories, your entire body is built off of them, like proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Number 6, girls don't like muscle. Only guys seem to compliment me in the gym. Not freaking true. A myth, another myth that we need to bust. Even if a girl doesn't care about muscle, you simply stand out way more and you catch attention way more when you look nothing like these other guys. It is simply true that when you can pick her up and you can pick something that's heavy up when another guy can't, you obviously have a little bit more attraction in that case. It's not that girls don't like muscle, it's that they don't like you. And that is very humbling for a lot of people because, I might sound like an asshole when I'm talking about this kind of stuff, but it's because I genuinely want you to get better. And this is talking about Heromaxxing, right? So my whole channel, I always talk about how nothing really compares to the art that is within your heart. Because again, there is a woman that is with a man that objectively looks worse than you, and she loves him very much, and they are in a happy relationship. And I need you to understand what's called the Jack Dawson effect. That's what I called it. So you ever seen Titanic, and you see Jack Dawson, he's very, very poor, and he still is with this woman, and this woman loves him very much, and she's willing to sacrifice everything for him. The thing is, it's because this man is living from his heart, and he's a good man. People, friends, women, just romantic interests that are love you very much when you live from your heart and you are honest and you are sincere. When you are honest and you are sincere, that is when people start to trust you the most. And when you live from your heart, live as a man of honor and integrity and honesty, whatever that means for you, people know what to expect. People get the best, sharpest version of you when you are not dicking around, when you are living as a hero. When you are fucking Heromaxxing like Daniel tells you to do. You get to see a man that is very, very rare. A man that does not make excuses for himself. That is the most attractive thing, because it's not necessarily about the body. The reason why biologically this is like a cool thing, it's not just because it catches attention, but it also shows you what kind of person you are. But the thing is, people are very, very good at sensing what kind of person you are. Are you the kind of man that dicks around? Are you the kind of man that kind of just like, he sacrifices who he could be for other people, of the way people view him? Or does he do whatever he knows is right, even if he looks like a shithead, even if he looks stupid? No. I need you to understand, there is nothing that compares to the art that is within your heart. So many guys think that the physique is the most important thing, when no, it's actually very, very much secondary. Because who you are, if I lost everything, I would be able to get it back, because that is who I am. That is who I am. I know I'm going to be successful in life because I know who I am. And that security in myself, that security that comes from genuinely being confident, that is what is attractive. I need you to understand that, like, it's like this nice guy effect, where it's like, oh, I built the physique, why don't they like me? I'm being nice, so why don't they like me? That's not the fucking point. And any girl that watches my content, the 10% of women that watch my content will understand that they don't actually care about as much like how much money you make, how peak your physique is. They just want to see that you're not a bitch, that you don't sacrifice who you are for other people, for how other people see you. They want to see you literally living what your heart is telling you to be. That is what Heromaxxing is. That is what I'm trying to do, because the world does not need looks maxing anymore. All vain, a girl who will literally leave you simply because you don't look as good as the next guy. That is not what you want. That is never what you wanted. And if there's people who have this depth in their heart, just like you, if this resonates what I'm saying, if you have this depth in your heart to say, yeah, like, I'm loyal, I will trust someone, I will be with someone, I will stick with someone, someone will do that for you too. They just need to see that this is not the only thing that you're offering. That you being strong and jacked is actually a consequence of your heart and soul and the very poetry of your entire being. Never reduce yourself to someone who's just a pretty little doll. That is not what you are. That is never what you are, because there is so much more strength and power that you have not even realized yet. And one day you will be able to sit down, you will be able to actually just really realize that everything that you built, it was already there. It was just a process of you discovering yourself, because you were the greatest man. I hate it when guys tell me, oh, you're going to be the next this person, you're going to be the next that person. No, I am fucking Daniel Rojas, and everything leads back to me, because nobody can replace me, just like nobody can replace you. So many people are trying to be other people. Fuck no. I could never try to be like that, because nobody really sees until I show them who I am. And that is what Heromaxxing is. And when you know that you have this individuality that makes you irreplaceable, the physique gives you the confidence. But you get to unlock something that you always had. I hope I said all of this correctly. Subscribe and support me. Hit the like button, literally, if you want to see me succeed. Because literally, the more I succeed, the more other people succeed. The impact that I've had, the reason I have 4K subscribers, nice, by the way, is that I specifically work and give literally everything for you guys. My success is just an expression of how much I have been able to impact the world. And I will never settle to give the world a lesser version of myself. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, and check out my Instagram story highlights to literally see my entire story, because there's a lot more that goes into what I call Heromaxxing than just a pretty cool fucking physique that mugs a lot of guys. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.